Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you guys a tutorial video on how to randomize your Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. However, to make this video, I am not alone.
Hello, I am Matt. I am here to do what Josh can't do, and this is very long overdue, let me tell you.
It definitely is. I know you guys that are watching have been bugging me for this video for a while, and I know Matt has been bugging me for a while, so hopefully I'm making some people happy with this video. And before we go any further, guys, do me a big old favor and check that description. There's gonna be plenty of useful stuff. However, also you'll find some amazing links to Matt's stuff. He's been doing some live streams on Twitch. The link for that is down below, twitch.tv/SwordTemplice, and also on his Twitter, MattUkenna_, and you could go follow him on there as well. So with that being said, a big requirement before we go any further with this is that you will need custom firmware on your 3DS. Matt, you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yep, so if you go to the URL in the description linking to 3ds.guide, you're going to find this massive guide written by Playlect all about how to get custom firmware on your 3DS, regardless of the firmware version. Granted, there are some limitations in what you can do on certain firmwares, but if you're between firmwares 9.0 and 11.3, this will be extremely easy for you. If you're on anything higher, you're going to need to do some soldering, you're going to need to do some system transfers, or you could do a new method called NTR boot that lets you flash something onto a flash card and install it just by holding 3 buttons and pressing another. So really, whatever your scenario is, go to the URL in the description and figure out your situation from there. Once you have custom firmware, you can come back to this video to learn how to randomize your games.
So to get things started, we are going to need this file here, the randomizer tutorial 7.zip. So the link for this will be in the description. Go ahead and download this. Matt will be showing you guys everything in here, but for now, just go ahead and download this, and you're going to want to extract it, open it up here. You can do this right within Windows or with programs such as 7-zip. I already have a folder here. Probably want to do something on your desktop, and I have a folder here called tutorial. You can do whatever you want, just keep it organized, and I'll go ahead and just toss it in there so now you can see I got a nice folder here, and it has everything from the zip. So now for this next step, we are going to need to dump our games. So to do this, you have to hold down the start button while your 3DS is booting up, and you will see God Mode 9 pop up. If you don't see God Mode 9, then a menu should show up, and you will go ahead and click God Mode 9 as an option, but it should just run right away from you. And from here, there are 2 ways to dump your game. You could dump it from a digital copy that you have, or from a game cartridge that you own. So with that being said, we're going to do the physical game copy first. As an example, we have the C game cart. That is where it should be. Go ahead and click on that. It'll take a moment to load up. And then you'll go ahead and go to the trim.3ds file. So go ahead and click on that. And just keep in mind, for either one of these, whether it's physical or digital, you will need quite a bit of free space on your SD card, about 3.4 gigabytes free. So go ahead and click this option here, NCSD image options, and then go to build CIA from file. Now this will take quite a bit of time. You'll see we have upwards of like 30, maybe even 40 minutes of time that it's going to take to do this. So I'm not going to sit here and let this whole thing go, but you will go ahead and find this file once it's all done in your SD card in the folder GM9, and then under that in the out folder, that is where it'll be located. So once this does finish, you could just power off the 3DS. Since we also want to see the digital one, I'm going to hold B to cancel this, and I will go back a little bit here. So now you want to go to, now this is for a digital copy, so that was for if you want to dump a physical copy, and now I will show you if you want to dump your digital copy. So go to sysnand SD, go to title, go to this first option here with just the 4 there, and then you have to find the correct title ID because Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon have different IDs. So Pokemon Sun, you could see on the screen, and then Pokemon Moon, you could also see on the screen. Let's go ahead and do, I have both, so we'll just do the Pokemon Moon, I suppose. So we're looking for 175 E00, sorry about that, I just totally lost my place. There we go, so that is it. Then you click Content, and then you find the file ending in TMD. So click under TMD File Options, do build CIA standard, and then that is that. This will also be located in the same folder on your SD card. It will be under GM9 and then under the out folder. So once this finishes, same deal, just go ahead and power off your 3DS. With that being said, I will go ahead and hand this off to Matt for all of the randomizer goodness.
So once you have your game dumped with God Mode 9, on the root of your SD card, you're going to find a folder named GM9. You open that up, you're going to see another folder named Out, and then inside there you're going to have your CIA file that the program dumped. You're just going to want to move this over to your Step 1 Extract folder, which as you can see I've already done, just for the sake of time in the video. Now before you do anything else, you're going to want to rename the file after it's moved over to the folder something short. Something that you're going to remember and you can see. Because I dumped Moon, I'm just going to rename it to moon.cia. Then you're going to run setupus.exe. This is just to install the program. You're going to say click install to finish the installation. Click install, it's already installed, click next, and click finish. That's simple. After you have it installed, you want to run hacking toolkit 3ds.exe. It's going to bring up this menu here. You want enter CE for extract a .cia file. So you're going to enter CE. It's going to say enter the name of your decrypted CIA file without the extension. So as you can see, we renamed ours to Moon. So we're just going to type in Moon, and it's going to say decompress the code.bin file. You want to hit Y and then hit enter. Now it's going to start extracting your CIA into every single file in the game's file system. It's going to take a bit of time, so we're going to go ahead and cut the video to when it's completely done. Alright, once it's done, it's going to say extraction done, press any key to continue. You're done with the program, so you can just close out of this window. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of files and folders were generated. The only two that you care about are the extracted exefs and extracted romfs folders. You're going to go ahead and you can Control X or you can do right click cut. Go back to Randomizer Tutorial 7, open your ROM folder and just paste the two folders in there, or you can drag and drop whatever you prefer, as long as those two folders get into here. After that, this is your ROM. Those are all of the extracted contents. So now, you're going to open up Step 2, Randomize. The program that you want is PK3DS. This is the Gen 6 and Gen 7 Pokemon ROM editor and randomizer. I've left a text document here that shows you how to get the latest build no matter what. It's much easier than maintaining a zip file that I constantly have to update every time there's an update for the program. This is better for everybody. So just follow the instructions here. I'm going to even show you in the video, just so you don't get lost. I'm going to highlight this URL that I have in the text document. Then go to your web browser of choice, mine is Chrome. You're just going to paste in the URL into the web address bar. And you're going to click login as guest when you make it to this website, login to Team City. You're going to see the build number and the build date and build time, so you know when the latest build was. Go to the artifacts tab, and you want to download the zip file here. Now as you can see, I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to bother downloading it again. But once you have it downloaded, just going to go over to your downloads. You're going to open up the zip file, and you're going to see 5 files. You want all 5 of these files. Don't just drag the executable, you want all 5. These are dependency files that make the program run as it's intended to. So once you have those files there, you're just going to run the executable, and you're going to see all these buttons, and it's going to say no game loaded here. That's no problem at all, we have yet to load the game. So, if you go back to Randomizer Tutorial 7, you just want to drag this ROM folder onto the window. And PK3DS will automatically detect your game and load up the settings appropriate. So, now it's time to randomize your game. You have a lot of options. You can randomize game text, story text, personal stats, evolutions, level up moves, all this different stuff. People are usually going to edit the wild encounters, trainers, maybe the static, actually, yeah, for sure the static encounters, maybe level up moves, maybe types. So, ones of importance and of interest, and I'm going to show you our personal stats, which once you open it up, has the base stats, EV yields, items, types, abilities, all of that for every Pokemon. The main tab you want to visit is Enhancements. You're going to see all these options. You have stats, held items, abilities, all this. What I usually do is I just make sure only held items is checked. So that way, I'll show you an example really quick, because I know Magmar in particular has a 5% chance of holding Magmarizer. If I go back to the Enhancements tab, and I click Randomize, it's going to randomize every species to have different held items when found in the wild. So now you see a wild Bulbasaur will have a 50% chance of holding a cover fossil, 5% chance of holding a cell battery, and a 1% chance of holding a Landsat berry. That goes for every single Pokemon. Every last one of them has a chance of holding an item, which is pretty cool. So, we're going to go ahead and exit out of that. We got evolutions here. You can randomize the evolutions. The methods of evolutions will stay the same. It'll only change the Pokemon. So, like for example, Piplup evolves into Prinplup at level 16, I believe. Yes. If you randomize, it's going to change what it evolves into, but it's still going to be at level 16 by level up. Level up moves, straightforward, what Pokemon learn in their level up. Wild encounters is a big one, so we're going to open that up. And when I said big one, I was not kidding. This is a big file, so it's going to take a bit to load. But once it is loaded, you're going to see this giant window pop up. These are all the wild encounters, every single table, day and night, because Sun and Moon has different encounter tables for that. You can edit the rates of the Pokemon, so you can have 100% just Yungoos. You can have 50% this, 50% that. It's up to you. Bottom left has your tweaks. You can multiply the level by a certain decimal value. You can choose the slot randomization. You can randomize all the slots, which includes their SOS. Randomize regular only, which is only the initial encounters. Randomize SOS only. And randomize regular copy to SOS. This randomizes the initial Pokemon and copies them to SOS. So if this slot right here where Yungoos became a Trico, all the SOS slots would also be Trico. I usually just keep it to randomize all, just for the sake of it being completely random. And that's it. Everything is randomized. There is actually one more thing that I want to show in the personal stats editor. Speaking of SOS, this option right here, modify SOS call rate. You can set a certain call rate to every Pokemon. This is unique because in Gen 7, not every Pokemon is meant to be found in the wild, so they're going to have a call rate of 0. Like for example, Bulbasaur here. Its call rate is 0 because you're not meant to find it in the wild, so no matter what, it will not call for another Pokemon. If you were to set this value to, let's say, 6, I'm going to keep quick egg hatches as well. Click modify all. It's going to go through all the species really quick. It's going to say all species modified according to specification. Now every single Pokemon will have a call rate of 6. So that way they all have a chance of calling an SOS Pokemon, which is pretty cool. Next thing, you got Mega Evolutions, you can edit those. Randomize egg moves. Trainers is a good one. I'll bring up this window here. In the miscellaneous/random tab, you have all these options. Random Pokemon randomized by base stat total, which is similar strength. Random shinies, multiply Pokemon again by a decimal value. Moves, very important. Don't modify keeps the base moves, so if it was a level 50 with Bubble and Water Gun, it would stay a level 50 with Bubble and Water Gun, even if it were randomized into a Fire type. It'll still keep those two moves. Randomize all, completely random moves. Use level up only, takes the Pokemon's current level up moves, and then puts that into its moveset. High-powered attacks, all the Pokemon's strongest attacks no matter what the level is. Then you got these extra options, held items, abilities, max IVs, smart EVs. Smart EVs makes it so that it has 252 in its 2 highest stats. And then in trainer here, you got random trainer classes, ignore special classes, which are like bosses. Random mega forms. You can choose the minimum and maximum Pokemon trainers will have, so you can set these both to 2, so every trainer in the game will have 2. Likewise, set them both to 6. Every trainer will have a full team of 6. So I'm just going to do my regular settings here. Alright, I click randomize all. I'm going to randomize all the trainers, and as you can see, every trainer in the game will have a full team of 6. That'll lead to some chaotic stuff. Look at this, Caracosta with a red orb and a shiny Kangaskhan with a Macho Brace. It's pretty random. Item stats are what items do and how much they sell for. Move stats are what items do. Royal and Battle Tree, you can't randomize those, but you can modify the teams that are in the Battle Royal and the Battle Tree. Pickup is not the overworld items, I should stress that. It's not the field items, not the overworld items, it's only related to the ability pickup and what items you can get from the Pokemon with that ability. Overworld script editor, I recommend you avoid that. It's related to encrypted scripts, and most end users aren't going to have to worry about that, so just leave that on its own. Static encounters is big. Get your randomizer options right here. You again have your multiplier, and you have your options here. You can randomize starters, or you can just randomize everything but the starters. You're probably going to want to do both. Do that quick. When you're done, and if you randomize the starters, it's going to say, starters have been changed. Update text references. Note that this only updates text references for the current language. It can be changed from options language on the main window. Click yes, it's going to update the text references, which means you go to language. Whatever language you have set here, it's only going to update the text file that coordinates with that. So, because I have it running in English, I'm going to want to play my game in English, so that way it updates the text when you pick your starter. That way I know what the Pokemon is. It's not just going to default to the Grass-type Rowlet, the Fire-type Litten, or the Water-type Popplio. That's very important. Make sure you update text references. After that, you got the EXEFS tab. You can randomize TMs. You're going to say move compatibility will be the same as the base TMs, which means if, like, let's say TM02 Dragon Claw randomizes into Brick Break, all the Pokemon that could learn Dragon Claw will now be able to learn Brick Break. So I just click yes. That's randomized. Type chart, you can modify that. It's all here if you need it. Shiny rate you can edit. You can specify a certain percent of shiny Pokemon. I'll make it 50, for example. It's going to say 2838, which is equal to 1/2 in a ratio. So I want to put 2838. It's going to see 49.99% roughly. Just click save. It's going to, for example, if it's not a proper value, it's going to do the next supported value, which in my case is 2848. Click OK. Now the shiny rate is 50%, which is really cool. So 50% of the shinies that or 50% of the Pokemon that I run into will be shiny. And last but certainly not least is CROs. As this prompt says, they can only run if you have custom firmware. So no Hans or anything like that. You can choose the regular marts, or you can do all the Battle Tree and Battle Royal marts. Click randomize here. It'll actually give you the option randomize only special marts, will leave regular necessities intact, which is like your potions, your Pokeballs, your antidotes, paralyze, heals, repels, all that. It'll keep that as it is. It'll only update the special marts, like the Koni Incense, for example, now sells Flame Plates, Big Roots, Love Balls, Full Heals, Power Weights. This Koni Herb place sells the Garchompite, so do what you will. You can choose to only do special marts, or sorry, only do special marts or do all the marts. It's up to you. This one here will randomize all the marts, and the prices are BP based. And that's pretty much it. After you have that all done, you're done randomizing your game. All that's left is to get the files that you need for your randomizer onto your game. So if you go to Options and About Garks, it's going to give you a list of every single Gark that PK3DS can edit. You want to keep this here just as reference. I'm going to leave these both to the side and leave this right over here for my own reference. So, I know that we randomized personal stats, we randomized wild encounters, trainers, static encounters, and the Pokemarts, and TMs. So, keep this here as your reference. Before I even get to that though, I'm going to show you how to get the EXEFS and the shop, or the Pokemart edits. So, if you go to your ROM folder, go to extracted EXEFS, you're going to see a file named .code.bin. Just going to copy this file, and if you go back to the Randomizer Tutorial 7 folder, go to Applying Game Patches, which I'm actually really quickly going to open that up on this end. Okay, so you have two folders, Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon. Obviously open up the folder with the game you're going to be patching. Mine's Pokemon Moon. You're going to see two folders here, Luma and Salty SD. For the EXEFS edits, which are the Pokemart, Type Chart, and Shiny Rate. Not Pokemart, sorry. The Shiny Rate, let me just double check. TM's, Type Chart, and Shiny Rate. That's it. So, for those, you're going to open Luma, Titles, this folder right here, and you're going to see a code.ips folder, or file. You're just going to paste that code.bin file right here. But before you continue, rename the file and get rid of the dot at the beginning of the file name. That is crucial. The file will not load if you don't do that. Make sure you get rid of that. Next thing, go back to Applying Game Patches, go to your folder, you're going to see a Salty SD folder. This is where everything else goes. Open the Sun Moon folder, you're going to see a folder named A. To do your Pokemart edits, go to Extracted ROM-FS, you're going to find a folder, or file, sorry, I keep mixing those up, shop.cro. I'm going to copy this and just paste it in there. That is your Pokemart edits. Now, inside the A folder, you're going to see that there's 4 new folders, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and inside those you're going to see even more folders. This is where the reference comes into play. You're going to replicate the file system so that way the game patches while you play. So let's say I know I randomized the personal info, which are like the held items and the call rates of Pokemon. It's in A017. So if I go to A, 0, 1, and I have nothing here. This is what's gonna be on my SD card. If I go to my ROM folder, go into that same path, A, 0, 1, and I'm gonna see a 7 file here. I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna paste it in here. That's my personal edits. Next thing was the trainer data. You have 3 different files: trainer class, trainer data, trainer Pokemon. A10456. So go back to A10. This is what's gonna be on my SD card. Go back to your ROM. 1, 0, gonna copy 4, 5, and 6, and just paste them in here. It's really simple, you're just replicating the file system. Now, next thing is the static encounters, which as you can see is A155, so go to A15, 15, copy 5, paste 5. Next up, we randomized encounter data, which is 083 in Moon. If you're playing Sun, it'll be 082. So A08, that'll be empty. 08, and in my case it's 3 because it's Pokemon Moon. I'm gonna paste that over. And last but not least, we have, in our case, it's the story text, because we didn't randomize the game text, but the story text was updated to reflect the randomized starters. So if you don't move this file over, you're not going to know what starters you have until you pick them. So 04, 04, copy the 2 file and paste it in there. So now in your Salty SD folder, you have all the Garks, your shop.cro, which are the Pokemon inventories, and in here you have your code.bin, which is your TMs, type chart, and shiny rate edits. Now, all you got to do is open up your Pokemon Sun or Pokemon Moon folder, drag these 2 folders to the root of your SD card, and then you're done. After that, it's just a matter of running your game and making sure you have no update data, and then your randomizer will be working. So we'll bring you back over to Josh, where he'll show you how to do the rest.
Okay, now that all of that is done, we are finally ready to test all of this out. So, you want to boot up your system and hold select. This is just to make sure that you have the correct settings enabled. Make sure you have just these 2, enable game patching and show NAND or user string and system settings. Go ahead and check both of those off, and then you can click start to save, and then you'll be all good to go. It'll reboot, and it'll be looking all good. Is my capture card frozen? Hello right now? There we go. It's good. It took a minute there to catch up. But to make sure everything works here, you want to make sure that your update data for Pokemon Sun and Moon is going to be deleted. So to do that, I'll just show you guys real quick if you don't have that done already. Go ahead and go to System Settings, and then you'll go into Data Management, and you'll only have to delete the corresponding update data here. So we'll go to Data Management, Nintendo 3DS, downloadable content, and you will see somewhere on here update data. As you can see, I have for Pokemon Moon here, I have some update data here, so make sure that you go ahead and delete that before you actually go ahead and do this. If you have Pokemon Moon randomized, just do that for Moon. If it's just Sun, then just Sun. If you have both randomized, if you're doing 2 separate randomizers, then you could do them for each of them individually. So now that that is done, we're going to go ahead and take a little look here at our gameplay and see if it all worked. Alright guys, we are here in Howley City. We're going to run into a nice grass patch and make sure everything is good to go. Let's check it on out. We are going to be looking at a goth itself, definitely not supposed to be in Howley City, so I think we're looking pretty good here, guys. I hope that this was a helpful tutorial video. If you are new here, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell if you are new, so you get them notifications, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.